We've been testing out the Sony FX30 for the past couple of months, and I have to say that I'm really impressed with this camera. It promises a lot more things that come in really useful for us, and we're going to talk about that in this video. First of all, the price of the FX30 is really low in comparison to full-frame versions of this camera. If you look at the FX3, which is the bigger version of this, it goes into the almost 4 lakh rupee territory. And the A7S3 is somewhere in the 3 lakh, and I'm just talking about the body only. This one starts at around 1,79,000 rupees. Of course, you can get some deals and offers. So you can get a slightly lower price bracket. And then the lenses themselves, whether you go for something like this, which is an 18-105 power zoom, which again is not possible in a full frame format, a power zoom lens, which costs under 1 lakh rupees versus just basic lenses on a full frame format that go into 1.5 lakhs, 2 lakhs even. So you're saving a lot of money out of the gate, but then you're not compromising in terms of build quality, design, or even image quality. And we'll talk about that right now. Overall, the body of the FX30 is a magnesium alloy, and it's basically a replica of the FX3. So it's a smaller brother of that. And then because it's a cinema line camera, you don't have a viewfinder because it's focused more towards video. But you do have tons of mounting ports on all sides of the camera, so you can mount it vertically or horizontally. And then you do have the ability to add this handle. Now this costs about 20,000 rupees extra if you buy it in the kit. And this adds on to the top where the hot shoe is, and gives you two really nice full-size XLR inputs with really nice built-in preamps. And then you do have audio controls on the left here, and you can select your inputs and all of those fun things. And this will work with other Sony cameras as well. So if you have an A7S3 like we do, you can use that handle for that. This camera is also extremely lightweight, weighing in at only 650 grams approximately for just the body only. And then the lenses also become lighter in comparison to full frame models. This is a really nice, relatively low price run and gun style kit, which delivers in terms of video quality. Now, speaking of video quality, you're able to get 4K 120 FPS at the max. You do need to use the CF Express Type A cards, which are Sony specific. Those cards are much more expensive, but we had them around because we were using the A7S3, so they fit into this camera perfectly. But if you don't want to shoot 4K 120, you do have SDXC cards that also work with this. So the slot is a dual slot. You can use either of those cards. And then it also does relay recording, so you can record from one card to the other without stopping your video recording. So those features are obviously pretty good. Now internally, it can record 422 10-bit video, which is on long GOP or all intra compression. You also get really good autofocus built in, which is typical for Sony. So whether you're using the A7S3 or the FX30 or any other Sony camera, you know that autofocus is really good, and especially things like eye autofocus. So if you have a face in your frame, it'll automatically jump into focus from that, and it is really razor sharp. What also is great is that you do get better image stabilization in this because it does have a little bit of in-body image stabilization, and then it also uses the image stabilization in its Power OIS lenses. And then Sony also offers gyro stabilization, which is their active steady shot, which uses their software to sort of stabilize the video later on, which you can also do, again making it useful for run and gun applications. So not only is this lightweight, is it cheaper, but it also gives you all of those full frame features, but at a much lower price. For color, you're also getting the S Cinetone color profile, which is great, and you do have S-Log 3 in there as well. So you do get all of those coloring and color grading features. If that is the way that you will shoot your content, you have access to that entire suite of features without needing a firmware update or anything. So out of the box, you're good to go as far as all of those things are concerned. Another great thing is that you can power this camera from a power bank as well. So if you have a 20 watt or more power bank, you can just plug in the USB-C port into this, and you can power the camera directly from this. Also, Sony allows you to use this as a webcam, so you can connect it via the USB-C port to your laptop or PC, and then use this camera as a webcam as well. That software is also available on the Sony website, and it's sort of seamless if you want to do that. Now, if you're somebody who likes to record externally, you do get 16-bit RAW out of the HDMI port, and you do get a 4672 by 2628 pixel output. Another great thing about this are the built-in preamps. So if you're doing audio work as well as video work, and if you want a built all-in-one device, then this has excellent preamps built in. So if you're using a microphone and recording audio, you can directly do that into this, and you get really nice clean inputs from the preamps, and you have really low noise floor. So you're not picking up any of those unnecessary, microphone backgrounds, and you're getting really clean audio directly into the FX30. You also do get the Sony Creators App. So if you want to use your smartphone to not only mirror the camera, but also remotely record and zoom in and zoom out. If you do have a power zoom lens like we do, then you can do that from the app. The app is fairly simple, connects quite easily, and allows you to control your camera remotely, which is again great for somebody who's trying to do this run and gun. And it's also great for somebody who is a single video creator, whether creating content for themselves or even if you're like a solo videographer, then this feature is great for that as well. Overall, we're really impressed with the FX30. Not only is it lightweight, it is designed specifically for video. It also has a built-in fan, so if you do shoot in extreme weather environments, then it works for that as well. I mean, if it's extremely hot, it'll cool down the camera and the sensor, which has been an issue with recording on 4K, especially 4K 120. So building in a fan gives you that freedom and allows you to record for long periods of time. It also has dual native ISO, which makes it great for low light. Just like the Sony A7S III, Sony cameras, which are designed for video, generally have really good low light performance, and this one does as well. You do have dual native ISO like I mentioned, and the second one stops at 2500. So you can really lift up the ISO from there, go up to about 6000 without getting too much grain in your video content. Works really well in the daylight or in low light, and has a lot of dynamic range, much more than the A7S III in our experience. And we really like it. It's a really small compact camera and has allowed us to shoot a lot of interesting content. And I did take it with me to San Francisco when I went recently to cover the Apple event, and this came in clutch because it's extremely lightweight, really easy to carry. Overall, really impressed with this camera. The only con I would say is it's still expensive to be a starter camera, but it is cheaper than most other cameras. But if you just get a kit, you'll be spending upwards of 2 lakh rupees just to sort of get in here. And then the CF Express Type A cards will add another 40,000-50,000 rupees depending on what size of card you get. So you're still spending about 3 lakhs to sort of get that video quality. Still cheaper, but still pretty expensive. Also, this camera is purely designed for video work. So if you're somebody who does hybrid work, you might want to pick something up like this, which does have a built-in viewfinder, which does allow you to do photography as well. This one, while you can shoot photos, you're not going to get great results as far as photography is concerned. And then you don't have a lot of photography specific features built in either. Another thing that I dislike is the fact that the record button, if you're using the camera like this, and if you want to reach the record button, you can't really do that. But they do alternatively have a record button here. So if you're using your second hand, you can record with this button. But to reach this button, unless you have giant fingers like I do, you can't really reach this button. But apart from that, this camera has really impressed us. And we'll have links to this in the description below along with our favorite lenses, so you guys can go check it out. If you have any specific questions or queries about this, let us know and we'll cover those up for you in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.